Howdy, folks. Welcome to our second episode of Mindful X. I'm Justin McBride, and this is the daily series where we consider quotes, concepts, and contradictions that can support us on our journey of experiencing life mindfully. Today's consideration is the concept of mindfulness. More specifically, the question of what is mindfulness. Before we get too much into that, let's go ahead and check in with our body, our brain, or more so, I'm going to do that, and I invite you to join me. Again, I like closing my eyes whenever I kind of focus on my breathing or my body and doing a body scan. It just helps to focus me because I get really distracted rather easily by visual stimuli, which is a great thing because there's a lot of beauty in the world and a lot to see that is worthy of being stimulated visually. However, sometimes it's a little much. So today I'm just going to do a body scan. Body scan for me is pretty basic. There's a couple different ways that I do it, but I guess the quick version, or not the quick, I'd say like the abbreviated version, because I sometimes will do this for 15, 20 minutes, but the abbreviated version is just starting down at the tip of my toes with my focus. And you can't see my toes, which is probably a good thing because my toenails need a little bit of attention at the moment. But I kind of start at the tips of my toes and I put my focus there. I wiggle them a little bit. And sometimes if I'm sitting in a chair or if I'm standing up, I'll, place my big toe on the ground and then try to place each toe all the way over to the pinky toe on the ground and just kind of go back and forth. And then I move my focus up towards my ankles. And I might flex or move my ankle a little bit just to see what that feels like. And working up through my shins and my knees, through my thighs. If I notice something where there's a little bit of discomfort, I'll pause there for a moment and try not to focus on it beyond just recognizing that it's there, but not focusing on the discomfort, just focusing on the area and being aware of the discomfort as I move up through my lower back and to my upper back, out through my fingertips, maybe pumping my hand a little bit or squeezing, making a fist, see what that feels like. And I come back through my arms and my shoulders into my chest, feeling my chest rise as I breathe in and feeling it exit my body, all that air coming in and out, and where it enters my body through my mouth. Seeing what it feels like on the roof of my mouth. And letting all that air out. This is just a quick body scan, a little longer than some of my quickest, but shorter than the longest. Before I open my eyes, I just like to turn my focus to my eyes and be aware of the light that may be shining through just a little bit. Slowly opening my eyes, sometimes more abruptly. Taking that last breath in and out. And being ready to move on to whatever it is that I want to approach mindfully. And right now, that thing that we are considering is mindfulness, a rather broad thing to consider, and a big question: what is mindfulness? For some people, when they say mindfulness, I know they have shared with me they mean meditation, and they say mindfulness is meditation. Other people that I know, when they say mindfulness, they say something more, I guess, less formal, like washing the dishes, intentionally, or taking a couple intentional breaths in without even like closing the eyes or anything, just kind of like and being aware of that breath as it comes in and goes out. Other people I know shared with me that it means a movement of some sort, like yoga or Tai Chi. To me, mindfulness means all of those things. Um, and at Mindful X, and actually Social Profit Initiative, which is the nonprofit organization behind Mindful X, um, defines mindfulness as non judgmental awareness of internal and external factors. Again, non judgmental awareness of internal and external factors. How we choose to practice mindfulness may differ, and there's different ways to practice mindfulness. How I like to think of them is in um, three different capacities, three different zones of mindfulness, I guess. The first being mindfulness meditation, and meditation being an intentional practice where you focus on the breathing, you focus on the body. There's different ways to practice mindfulness meditation. Um, and I wouldn't say that there's one specific way that is the true mindfulness meditation, because there is, like I said, mindfulness of breath or mindfulness of body, um, and other types of mindfulness meditation. But what I'll say mindfulness meditation is not, at least in my book, is not something like washing the dishes or intentional breathing. While intentional breathing may be a component of a meditation, and washing the dishes can have its own benefits in a mindfulness practice. It is not really what I would think of as meditation itself. Those are more everyday mindfulness practices. Um, so different types of meditation, and I won't get too deep into any of those. We'll kind of leave that there, because we could go on talking for hours about meditation. And I hope to bring you a longer video or podcast, perhaps, on different forms of meditation. And if you want to discuss that more, you can also go to www.mindfulx.net, and that's our community where we can dive into topics, and you can share your own tips and techniques. You can ask others for guidance, and we have a specific topic on mindfulness meditation. There, we also have a specific topic on mindful movement. Mindful movement would be things like yoga or Tai Chi, and things that are, again, intentional or deliberate, and focus on being aware of the body as you move, or even aware of the stillness within the body, in a way that helps you communicate with the outside world, or helps your body communicate with your mind, but is different than a mindfulness meditation. And sometimes there are overlap. People may use, many people going back centuries, and more, I suppose, have used yoga as the warm up for a meditation. I know some people also use meditation as a warm up for yoga. And there's no right or wrong way. There may be one way that came before the other. But meditation and mindful movement are definitely two practices that can go hand in hand. I have a mindful movement practice of my own, which I wouldn't really classify as yoga or Tai Chi or really anything, because it's kind of just like a combination of a lot of different stuff. But again, not getting too deep into any one of these. We can chat about that more later, or connect on mindfulx.net to get into that deeper. And then lastly, everyday mindfulness. And this is another way to think of this would be like mindfulness on demand, things that you can do anywhere and everywhere um, to support mindful living, to support centering yourself, becoming a little bit more focused in whatever it is that you're doing. Um, Now, certain techniques of everyday mindfulness or on demand mindfulness are going to be more appropriate in certain situations. For instance, um, closing my eyes and taking 3 intentional breaths, I can do that almost anywhere. I should not do that while I'm driving, right? Most mindfulness techniques, other than being intentionally aware of internal and external happenings on the road. Other than that, there's not a lot of forms of mindfulness I would recommend while driving. Like as far as a practice goes, be mindful of driving. But you can always pull over to, or sometimes you can pull over to the side of the road. Maybe you're not driving, which most of our life we're not, and or maybe you're riding your bike and you want to hop off the bike for a second. Maybe you're going on a jog and you want to pause that jog for a moment, and not just pass by everything that you are passing by. Or maybe you are in the middle of a stressful situation, and rather than just passing by that situation as well without taking a moment to kind of center yourself or to reflect on that moment, um, if we just pass by that, we're missing out on an opportunity sometimes to, one, just calm things down, or amp things up if that's more appropriate, but also just to be aware of why things are happening in our brains and our bodies in the first place in that situation. Something like washing the dishes or sweeping the floor, waxing the car for those that are fans of Karate Kid, or going out and raking some leaves up, or you have gravel, rake that up. There's a reason Zen gardens are something that have been used for quite a long time to help, um, to support a mindful presence and awareness. What does mindfulness mean to you? I would love to hear. Feel free to comment below. Also, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to our podcast or to our videos, whether it's on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. You can also go to www.mindfulx.net to find the MindfulX community, which is a community that's completely free from advertisements, and free for you to become a member of as well. I hope to continue this conversation there. Thank you so much for stopping by. And I'm going to go ahead and end this with a little bit of mindful breathing. Feel free to join me. And remember, until we meet next time, mindfulness is only a few intentional breaths away. Thanks for stopping by. Take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. Out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now on your own, breath in and out. And now completely on your own.